It's been a full year since I stood in the office of Richard Rosario's lawyer at the Exoneration Initiative, Rebecca Friedman.
Last time I spoke to you here was about a year ago.
So we are waiting for the judge's decision to give us this hearing, and we're hoping he will do it, and we can call all the witnesses.
And you were saying then that you have high hopes for it.
And now,
The appeal.
the judge has made his decision.
Tell me what's happened.
Our motion was denied without a hearing. The judge said there's not enough here for me to even give you your day in court.
Denied. In his decision, the judge wrote that Rosario already had his day in court, referring back to that 2004 hearing where 7 of his alibi witnesses testified and were rejected. The judge called that hearing extensive and ruled that Rosario's new motion to vacate his conviction is denied in all respects. Bronx DA Robert Johnson declined an interview, but I got this email from his office pointing out Rosario's long list of unsuccessful appeals, all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
I mean, there's Richard's stuff all over here. This is something I'm working on in his case right now.
Can you describe what it feels like to work on a case that long, know the case the way you know it, and have your motion denied?
It's incredibly frustrating. I think is the best way to put it. It's sad. It's dismissive of Richard's life. You know, this isn't just a name. Richard never actually even appeared in court before this judge. We tried to get this judge to bring him to court so I could look at his face and see this is a man, this is a person. This is not just a name on a piece of paper.
So it's 2016. It's been about 2 years since I first made this drive up to see Richard Rosario. Things are a little different now than they were back then. I know a lot more about his story. He had hope last time I interviewed him that he would get another day in court, but his appeal has been denied, and I wonder how that's affecting him. A lot of barbed wire. He's in a new prison over here. One night he was told to pack up his stuff, and he was moved, which must be stress on top of stress. Mr. Rosario.
How you doing, Dan?
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
You look almost as nervous as the first time we did this. Are you?
I'm always nervous about this, being on camera.
Why?
It's just I'm not used to it. You're used to it, so you know.
Listen, just be yourself.
Of course.
Just speak the truth.
Of course.
That's all that matters, right? So we first spoke on camera 2 years ago.
Yes.
You've never been worried about what we would find?
No.
Not for one moment?
Not for one moment. I've been an open book since the beginning.
How many facilities have you been in?
11.
11 different facilities?
Yeah.
You've been locked up for 20 years.
20 years.
And you just had your latest appeal denied.
Yeah.
How do you process that? How do you deal with that?
I've been through it so many times, so my bar of expectation is so low. But it hurts. I mean, you get denied, and then, I'm on a visit with my wife, and, I can't even look at her because I don't want this for her. So it's difficult.
Rosario believes the people who put him away must know he's innocent by now and just won't own up to it.
We're dealing with people that don't want to say, we made a mistake. Nobody wants to say that. It was easier for them to just close a case and give somebody some semblance of peace, which is the victim's family, but they caused them more harm. And God knows what happened with this guy, whoever did it. He's still running the streets, or how many other victims he's had since.
You come up for parole in 5 years.
5 years. I'm never gonna go in front of no board. I'm not gonna do it in court. I don't care if they tell me they're gonna release me in an hour. I'm not gonna tell nobody I did something I didn't do. That's just not gonna happen.
Rosario's fight continues. His lawyers have filed yet another appeal, asking a higher court to grant Rosario a new hearing. With everything that's now known about the murder of George Colazzo, Rosario's attorney Glenn Garber is livid that his client still sits in prison.
When people see this, right, if people are saying, wait, I don't get it, what do you make of that? I
It
mean,
happens because we live in a world that is upside down, okay, where jurists who have sworn to uphold justice don't do it. They look for ways to turn a blind eye to this shit, and it's gross. That's why. It's not rational. So don't ask us to give you a rational answer.
In January 2016, after serving for nearly 30 years, Robert Johnson stepped down as the Bronx District Attorney. The new DA is Darcel Clark. She'd been an appellate judge for years, and it turns out she comes from the same neighborhood where the murder happened. Rosario's attorneys immediately asked for a meeting, and just 2 weeks before she took office, the incoming DA agreed to hear what they had to say.
Today, to me, struck me as kind of an important day.
Today is a potentially important day. And the fact that we have an audience with the district attorney-to-be is huge, because we're hopeful that she's going to be receptive and that justice can be served quickly.
Justice. A word Richard Rosario says doesn't apply to him. Whether or not he had his freedom stolen, one thing, for me at least, is certain. He's never lost his conviction.
I'm never gonna lose hope. They have to take me out of here in a box. I'll never lose hope, no matter how long I'm here.
Less than 2 months after that interview with him, the case that seemed so dead suddenly had new life. So they interviewed you today?
Yes. They told me that the district attorney was willing to look at the case and that they were investigating.
A twist that no one saw coming.
We're grateful for everyone that didn't give up on him.
That's next on Conviction.